Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pull Up 3. I am Paragon Don,
I'm Jemay.
And I'm Jay Trent.
and today we will be talking about awards, or no, excuse me, not that. We're talking about the tourney results, Selection Sunday, things of that nature. Some of our agendas prospered, some of our agendas failed. So we will be discussing those. And yeah, we can. Where would you all like to start?
Um, let's start with the tournaments. You know what? Let's actually start with the Big 12 because I'm mad. I'm mad. I was doing a bit, so I actually shouldn't be mad. So if you weren't here last week, my bit was that Texas Tech and Iowa State were gonna go on a run to the championship. And both of them lost immediately. Like immediately. Like showed up on their desire. Like they even had like a bye. Both of them. And they showed up and still lost. Like, girl, y'all had rest. Kansas State, like I wrote Texas stuns. Kansas State stunned Texas Tech, like 21-0 run. How do you what's in the air where teams are just not scoring for entire quarters? Like what's like something's going on. I'm about to start a conspiracy.
It just, I low key, I might have an agenda about these bye weeks, but I'm gonna let it keep playing out. But sometimes it feel like when a team gets a bye, it's like they start their games too loose, and it's like that can't happen. Like it sometimes it feels like the team that has a bye don't play with the edge like they need to. And it's like, that this is like a win or go home game. And that they're saying, oh, this team has the bye. This team is supposed to be better. That they looking at you like, you're not like that.
See, I don't always be feeling like I think after Kentucky played, they were talking about like, oh, South Carolina's rested, blah 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 blah. There is absolutely a benefit of being rested, but also I feel like teams have talked about this. There is a downside of not having played basketball for a certain period of time, like only playing practice, and then you're playing someone who just played basketball like the day before, and they kind of like into this, and we not. So it's hard getting back into that mindset all of a sudden. So, like, yes, of course, you want your players rested, recover from injuries. Basketball is a very taxing sport, but also going from I ain't played basketball in the past like week to I'm about to play somebody who just played yesterday can be kind of a lot.
For me, it's something to be said because I feel like, especially in Texas Tech's case, the fact that K-State was coming off that win against Oklahoma State, which was a great game, by the way, and they went into that game against
that too. But continue.
They went into that game against Texas Tech feeling like they don't expect us to beat them either. And it felt like Texas Tech felt the same way. And it's like you can't, in a lot of these tournaments, it feels like some of these teams tend to underestimate their opponents. And I know it's not like every conference is the SEC where all the teams beat up on each other, but it felt like,
well, according to Bill Finley, it is.
well, then fair enough. Because like Texas Tech went into this game, it seemed like they were like, okay, State can't beat us. They can't do that again. And that's what happens. You get sent home early.
Let's back up a little bit to that Oklahoma State game. Jordan Spicer is is the truth, okay? She's the truth officially. But I do want to say that Oklahoma State. So if you did not watch, Kansas State kind of had a little lead in the last 30 seconds. Oklahoma State ties the game. Neither team has a timeout. There are roughly 3 seconds on the clock. So basically, if Oklahoma State does nothing, the game goes into overtime. But you know what happens instead? Staley Hurd decides to try to get a steal and reaches in on Tess Hill. And the ref blew the whistle because it was a very blatant reach in too. It wasn't even like she tipped it from the back, like she went across that lady body. And of course, Tess Hill is actually very funny because she hit the first free throw. That's all they needed. And the second one, she intentionally missed. She's the first player this season to intentionally miss properly. Let's point that out. Congratulations to Tess Hill. She intentionally missed, and obviously game ends. Miss Mama, I don't know, I can't remember her name right now. Oklahoma State head coach gets in the presser and is like, "You can't call that there, sister. Why didn't you tell your team hands up, no fouls, no? You talking about you can't call that here? That is a blatant, and I do mean blatant. Like she can't get away with that. That would actually be egregious if she got away with that. And in no world, like that's just bad basketball IQ. Like bad. They have to go the length of the floor in like 3 seconds, girl. They're not getting a shot off. Let her have it. Like, and if by the slim chance that they do hit a half court heave, God wanted them to have it more than you. so that's a deal above you. But you took it upon yourself to foul that lady, and now you mad at the results. You have one job. And I know they were sick because they literally hit that shot so quickly to like tie the game. It's like, girl, just y'all could have just stood there. Like you didn't have to do anything. I just do not understand the logic there. And I did not like her complaining because I'm like, girl. Yeah, that's the other thing that the head coaches, I'm like, y'all gotta know y'all personnel, okay? Because a lot of y'all teams are not smart, and that's okay. Y'all are in college. We don't really expect y'all to be too bright, but sister, so I did not feel bad for her, and it was even crazier because they had called a jump ball that favored Oklahoma State like 2 possessions before. When the girl, again, intentionally is coming across, she literally had her wrapped around the back. She almost slung the girl, and it was like jump ball. If I was Jeff Mitty, I would have been cut. Like, I would have had to get they would have threw me out. Because what do you mean? My girl almost on the floor over here. So, basketball gods tried to give you a chance, and you said no. And that's, again, becomes a personal issue. You walked into your own failure. We cannot help you.
I remember when the play happened, I was so confused at why you fouled there. And I understand, like, I just don't, it's just not worth it to go for the steal in that moment. Because like you said, like, if they get a half court heave there, so be it. Like, the game is a game. But you bailed him out because y'all were favored. If you go to OT, you have to like your chances. So it's like, if you can't get a clean steal off the inbound, don't worry about it. At least not in that moment. There's 2 seconds left. There's just no reason to do that. So yeah, she wanted to do it. It was a great game. It was just an odd way for that one to end.
She wanted to be remembered with that steal in the bucket.
See,
and it just did. Now she's remembered for different reasons, and sometimes that happens. You go for big plays, And when they work, it's like, dang, this is the greatest play ever. And then when they don't work, it'd be like, nigga, that was dumb. Like when old girl from Duke got that block at the end of the fourth quarter.
Tanamir.
That is not a play everybody can make. But if she would have fouled there, it would have been like, bro, why did you do that? But she got an insane block. Like that block, it was like so clean. But it could have very easily not been clean. And then it's like, nigga, why'd you just foul the 3-point line? Like there was that was about to be a crazy ass shot that she was probably not gonna make. It's just, I don't know. Stuff be silly.
Basketball is silly sometimes.
Before we move on from the Big 12, shout out to our champs, Texas. I mean, not Texas, TCU, not TCU, West Virginia. Wrong state, wrong city. West Virginia, girl.
Sorry to those other teams she just named.
Yeah.
Well, not Texas. We'll get to
not quite, but West Virginia, Jordan Harrison did the thing. Jeff, I mean, is his name Jeff? I don't know what his first name is. Coach Kellogg. Oh, his name is Mark. Mark Kellogg did the thing. He ruined the TCU back-to-back in regular season and conference champs. So shout out to West Virginia. Y'all were scaring me at the end of that game. I have never seen a team use 4 timeouts so fast. But I thank God wanted y'all to win that game. So we thank him. We thank him.
Let's see who.
Do we want to go ACC next?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, before we start, Notre Dame, I'm actually really proud of y'all. I have my agendas, they did not come into fruition. I shot from the hip, and y'all put up quite a performance in this tournament, and it makes me confident that y'all could do something crazy in the actual tournament. Their March Madness. It's going to be one of those things where either they lose very early or they play for a really long time. I don't think it'll be anything in between. Like,
so you're not feeling a Sweet 16 for them.
I honestly feel like
Let me look at
if they make it past like the second round, they're going to be in like the Elite 8.
Oh, okay.
I feel like Hannah has enough in her, and I think I know historically it does not look good when she got past a certain round. I think we're past that.
You think she's overcome with a worse team?
She's overcome her demons.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see where they are. Let me see what bracketology got them at.
Sometimes that's how you overcome. You get put in tougher circumstances.
You know what? You're right. Rise to the occasion.
Honestly, given the way that they did NC State, I can see that.
Hey, look, you punch hard enough first. Hey, some teams can bounce back, and that's a real.
Because I will say, I feel like they do pretty good when they punch first. I feel like and this could just be me looking at it from rose-tinted glasses. I feel like a lot of people aren't just like going down on Notre Dame and then just people aren't just coming back. I usually, or at least earlier in the season, I feel like they was either getting their ass whooped, and I feel like lately when they lose, it's actually been really close games. And losing a close game to Duke is kind of like, Duke is the main character right now, so you was kind of supposed to like.
It was just the way that they lost that game that blew me. And it's like I didn't even have like,
which was nasty.
I didn't even have like rooting interest in that game. and it was a great game, but it was just the process down the stretch is just, come on, y'all.
When Cash shot that 3, which was a fantastic 3,
great shot,
and she missed, I think they was like, "Then we gotta get a 3 off."
And
these niggas
did
not want to play no extra basketball, like none. They said if we go to OT,
it's not gonna pay for them.
Because you could tell then that they felt like if we go to OT, we are losing.
Yeah,
which I understand.
But at that point, I almost want to say, make sure you got the last shot then, because when Kaz missed the 3, Hannah like immediately put the shot back up. Like there were 8 seconds on the clock. It's like if the clock was off, if I couldn't see it, I would have thought it was 1 second up.
Yeah,
like she immediately put that shot up, and I was like,
but see, this is again where I'm like, coaches need to know their personnel. Neil, call the timeout. You cannot be watching the game.
I needed to know if she had a timeout left, because
I think she did. I think she had one.
As soon as they got that offensive rebound, she absolutely should have called another play.
She should have ran and put on the floor.
That play was fantastic to get Cass that wide open. Like it worked. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. So you got to give yourself another chance for that. Because I mean, even if Hannah would have not shot that shit, I don't think they would have got a clean look off regardless without running a play. I don't think there was any. If the plan ultimately was I have to get a 3 off, I don't think there was a clean look that she was gonna get. If she would have approached it as I just got to get a clean shot off, like any type of shot, I think she might have got something without calling a timeout. But if in her mind, if anybody's mind, it was we have to get a 3, I think it was gonna be ugly anyway.
Currently, excuse me. Currently in bracketology, which just for people who don't, bracketology isn't the exact thing, guys. I need people to know that too, because I feel like people keep posting it. This is just the maybe. This might happen anyway. If bracketology is true, they would have to play Ohio State. They would likely have to play Ohio State to get to the Sweet 16 or get past Sweet 16. Or hold on though, because Ohio is a 3 seed, but you know who else is a 3 seed? TCU and Louisville. 2 teams and Michigan. I'm saying there's a lot of negativity in that we could.
Notre Dame and TCU has too much drama.
And that's exactly why I need that. I need that.
Because I was out when you said Ohio State, I was already excited because I'm like, Jelani versus Hannah is really like, this is what we get up for. This is when we talk about band versus band, this is what we think about. I'm like, damn, this is a good ass matchup. But yeah, TCU could get real negative. Louisville could also get real negative, but TCU can get real negative.
All 3 of them could be negative.
This really
bad. And you know how it seems Notre Dame feels about losing real bad.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I could live with any of those for Notre Dame if they get there, but I can live with it.
Negative.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it. I mean, that's obviously too if Notre Dame stays a 6 seed. I think it might be better for them to be a 5 seed, because then they might have to play a Minnesota or Oklahoma. Who else is a 4 seed? Obviously, assuming they meet their first round matchup. Just other 4 seeds: Maryland, West Virginia. They can get it black and blood against West Virginia. No, that's not them. That's the wrong school. Wrong ACC school. You do need to get. Never mind. Yeah. So like seriously, they could. It could. Any of those 3 seeds, I feel like I feel like Hannah would be able to do enough to push them over. Now, trying to get to an Elite Eight is where I'm gonna be like, girl, I don't know, but
You're gonna have to punch first in one of them games.
I mean, not only that, but somebody else is gonna have to, like, 2 other people are really gonna have to clock in to work. Like, not like we got 5 points. No, like double digits, 320 balls on the roster type beat. Like,
when we do our bracket challenge this year, if you see Notre Dame in the Elite Eight on my bracket, do not be surprised.
Honestly, I feel like you have to do that. I feel like you have to. I feel like you have to commit to the bid at this point.
Especially if we're doing like
you already said, last year. Yeah, you already said you feel like if they get past the second round, they get into the Elite Eight. So it's like, I know you're not gonna have them losing in the second round, so you might as well.
Points were made.
Again, Notre Dame, those are my agendas. Duke is our pod agenda. We have rallied around this team because, especially since, 1, because we love Martin Luther King, but 2, y'all have said very negative things about this lady, especially when they lost them 6 games or 6 straight games or whatever that was. And every time them niggas lost, we had to hear, oh my God, I can't believe she's coaching Team USA. And we believed when niggas was losing, we believed as a collective. We Pull Up 3 never had doubt. It is everything that we agreed on as a group. We never had doubt. And that shit paid off. Well, as a matter of fact, we need to go to the old episodes and see when they was losing and being like, they gonna be fine. Because she fucking did that shit. Y'all talking about, I can't believe she's... First of all, her coaching college kids and her coaching A'ja Wilson and Brandon Stewart was automatically going to be different regardless. Automatically. But 2, it's early. It's early.
It's just, I mean, the reason people were like reserved about them, and I guess it's because once you dig yourself in that big of a hole, you kind of wonder if you're going to be able to bounce back from that. But they did, so I'm proud of them for that.
My girl said you don't get to choose how long you in adversity for, and to not lose a game for a really long time.
That shit was wrong. I said, damn, I'm moved. Like, I'm gonna put this on my wall. Hold on. You don't know when adversity gonna end. That's a bar.
I will be
I'm moved.
I will be telling that to the kids that I coach next season. When things get a little rough, you don't get to choose how long you deal with adversity. All you could do is fight. And them girls fought. And it's so crazy because I feel like, I mean, I think their offense did get like slightly better, but it wasn't like some like drastic improvement. I just feel like shit just started working for them. When you the main character, shit just work.
What you have to do is that's why it's always, and it's really tough to do, especially when you've lost so many games consecutively, but it really is process over results a lot of the time. And it's like, if you stick to your process and you are confident in the fact that your process is going to yield good results, they will come. It's just, but when it look bad, you be like, all right, we might have to switch something up. But you hold to it and you end up being all right. Like, they just need enough shots to fall. We know that Duke is a team that's built on their defensive principles. So we just need enough shots to fall, and we need them to fall at the right times. And that was what happened. And they turned their season around.
No, really, because they beat Louisville shooting 39% from the floor. Like, that's a nasty number to beat somebody.
Because what Louisville shoot?
Huh?
What Louisville shoot?
42% from the floor. But it's funny because Duke shot 40% from 3 and Louisville shot 33%.
Duke said if we shoot ugly, y'all shoot ugly.
But see,
And that's kind of my fun. Oh, my bad.
No, I was gonna say that's why I was kind of still confident in them, because it was like, even if our offense is not getting our shots off and we not, looks not going down the way that they're supposed to, we can make the game muddy for you. Like, we can put pressure on your jump shooters. We can deter you from getting to the paint. Like, so if we can make you uncomfortable, we like our chances.
They did.
One thing that I definitely understand people like questioning Duke. I guess the thing that always got me was questioning Kara as a whole, because like she obviously has the resume. Like, Duke just won an ACC title last year, and then she just won the FIBA America Cup last year. Like, even if Duke would have had a mid-year, I feel like it's too much on her. She's had too much previous success for me to be like, damn, this team kind of mid. So now I have to question, why are you coaching Team USA? I feel like there's too many previous things that I can say, oh, this is why they coaching Team USA. Like, Beckett 2023 or 2024 Aces was mid. I ain't about to be like, well, Becky sucks as a coach now. That just don't. I just don't make sense to me. I don't know. But yeah, I shout out to them. That it's fun. I feel like, especially in the last like 2 seasons, including this one, I feel like they got some like diet South Carolina in them, and I be feeling like if you play a close game with them, you are not winning. Like, South Carolina, for the most part, I feel like if a game is close with them, they always win. And I feel like for Duke, it's the same thing. Like, if it's a 2-point game with 2 minutes left, Duke pulling that shit out. I'm sorry to tell you. I just don't. I feel like the only way you beat teams like that make it muddy, like South Carolina and Duke does, is you got to beat the shit out of them.
You got to punch early.
You got to punch
be a much better shooting team. Like, drop of a dime, we can knock down a shot.
Like, all these games in the beginning that Duke lost, for the most part, they lost by pretty good amounts outside of Baylor. And I feel like they lost to Baylor by 6, but I feel like that, if I remember correctly, that game was not close in the beginning. And then they lost to Clemson by 2 and North Carolina by 5. But that also has a rivalry tag, so that's a little different. But all these other games that are like close, they pull these bitches out. Because that's just what
the Clemson one, she got that shot off. Like, they shot better. the pin a little harder. I don't know. But I will say, it's actually so funny. Like, it's funny that you say that, because like I was watching it with my family, and the timing of the shots matters so much. I told my family, I'm like, I love Ashlyn Jackson, but she gonna throw up some bullshit so many times this game. And I was like, she can't knock down a shot unless it's meaningful. Like, if it's just a little, all right, it gotta be deep 3 transit, like something nuts has to happen. And she hit a 3 with like 1 second on the clock. And I was like, here she go. And my brother's like, oh, she hit it. And I'm like, did you see the time? like she had no choice. She had no choice.
Man, if she wasn't a senior, she would be perfect on Michigan, because Michigan is adversity merchants. She would fit right in.
I said, these people are stressing me out. And Riley Nelson, oh my God, I literally the entire game, I'm like, we need the Riley Nelson bomb. We need the Riley Nelson bomb. Like, Riley Nelson gotta hit this shot to they need her just to do something. And what she hits it, she hits like the last 2 threes. It's specific and the one to win it overtime. And I was like, she came alive at the right moment. She hit 4 shots. She hit 4 shots this whole game. Well, she took 14 shots and she only made 4. But those two that she took at the end of the game were like, okay, like, matter of fact, she can be the MVP if y'all want. I don't even care. Give the lady the trophy because, like, you did exactly what you needed to do in this moment. So yeah, and shout out to Delaney Thomas because honestly, I was ready to give her MOP. I was actually a little like, why didn't she get it? And then I was like, okay, Tiana has been hooping the last couple games. She has done something, but I was like, Delaney is the reason why y'all won today. She was keeping this game real close when nobody else was doing nothing.
Yeah. Before we move, I just want to say I would love to have Taina Mayer on my basketball team. Like, I would love to.
Yeah, how much did do you think this? Or I know it also depends on how the actual tournament goes, but how much do you think this did for her stock?
I think it's and not just this tournament run. Like, I think the turnaround that Duke had this season, I wouldn't be surprised if she's the first Duke player to get drafted.
Yeah. I could see it
like that.
A early second round pick.
Somewhere in there.
I could see Ashlyn Jackson getting drafted to somebody that's like a championship contender, and she hit a really big ass 3 in the playoffs. Like, just on some, like, she just so happens to get subbed in, and it's like the biggest 3 ever.
I'm screaming.
You writing fanfiction?
I respect it.
This is good. This is good TV.
No, this is good though. Yeah, this is.
I'm full of whimsy.
What's really gonna happen is she's gonna get drafted at number 24 to the Los Angeles Sparks, and she's gonna fit perfectly into the Lynn Roberts 3-point system.
That is true. Lynn wants you to get up threes. If you shoot a midi, she's sitting you down. So, and I don't think Ashlyn's gonna have that problem because there were plenty of games for Duke this season where I was like, I don't know if Ashlyn took a shot inside the arc.
She didn't. I don't think she took one. Like no joke. We talked about, I think a while ago, that like Duke got to put up more threes, and they said, Ashlyn, that's on you. You don't actually take anything else. They started letting, and it was funny because at first it was Riley Nelson. But then they started letting Riley Nelson take the threes, and she started doing the little coming off the screen at the free throw line, hitting the little midi, which is cash. So they switched. Ashlyn Jackson, I don't think she stepped in to take anything. I don't even know if the lady is making layups anymore. So there's a vision here.
Are we looking at the SEC or the Big Ten?
We can do the Big Ten first, mostly because actually, shout out to Illinois. Hold on, because I said Illinois was going to be my Cinderella team, and I honestly was kind of impressed with them. Hold on, I gotta see. Hold on, I gotta go back to them real quick.
They beat Wisconsin, and then they beat Michigan State.
Yes.
And they lost to Iowa. But
in another close game, I was kind of sick because that's how they lost like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, Iowa, not that one. But no, like, they had a cute little run. Like, the stock is going up.
Yeah, no, Illinois played well. They did.
So I was proud of them. Everybody else, Maryland girl sounded out. Getting upset in that first game is crazy.
Shout out.
Also, Michigan, like Iowa having Michigan's number is also a little crazy. Like it is, but it isn't. Like, why is it that it's just Iowa? Like
Sometimes it's just that one matchup that you always get up for, and you like, we might get beat, but we not getting beat by y'all.
but why does Iowa have smoke with Michigan? I don't understand the beef. I don't understand the beef. I'm not like no joke. No joke. Let me look at. Hold on.
Sometimes you gotta make up rivalries in your head, and then it like sometimes that extra get up before the game is all you need.
It's one of those things we're gonna find out in an interview like 10, 15 years from now, and it's gonna be like, oh, that's why y'all always used to beat their ass. I didn't know you didn't like them like that. And now listen, and now we're in the social media age. People are probably in people DMs. Who knows? Who knows? Really?
It could be anything. It could be
anything.
That's just really a good bit to me. That's like, oh, they've literally only lost. They lost to Michigan, lost to Washington, UCLA, and Iowa. And Washington was a trap game. So
that I remember.
You can kind of turn your head a little bit. But Iowa, and then it's not even is it just Iowa, but it's Iowa. You just played them 2 weeks ago. Did you learn nothing? Like nothing? I guess they learned a little bit because the score was a little closer, but also, and that's the other thing. Like Iowa has not. I feel like there are a couple of games where Iowa was like not shooting well, and they get to the Michigan game, and it's like, no, actually, Chit Chat does know how to shoot. Actually, Taylor Strimlow is cool. Like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm fascinated.
Yeah. So Iowa's tournament run came to an end. What a game! What a game that was. I expected UCLA to win the game. I don't see how anyone could have expected a 50-point win. Like, I mean, shout out to them, but it was like I started to feel bad. Like, I started to feel bad for Iowa at a point because it was like, it doesn't matter what y'all do. Like, there is a counter punch for everything.
I think the only team that it's like they actually had like a really good. They kind of beat everybody ass that they played. Like some of these games were closer early on, and then they just kind of went on a run. Like Washington was up at some point in the first quarter, and then they went on like a 15-0 run at one point, and then it was like, well, I guess that's it. One thing about UCLA that really stuck out to me is just, we all rave Lauren Betts on here. I know she didn't win tournament MVP, and she didn't have like crazy stats, but you could just tell how she is really the central figure of everything. Like it was a play where Kiki Rice and Lauren Betts did a pick and roll. Lauren Betts dropped, and 3 people went to Lauren Betts. And then Kiki Rice just kicked that bitch in the corner. And it's like Lauren Betts did not get any stat for that at all. But that only happened because she matters so much.
And see, that gravity means so much to an offense. Like, if you forcing teams to pack the paint because we can't let you get the ball in this area, if you got teammates that can knock jumpers down, that's the recipe. Like, that's how you pull out wins. That's how you make deep runs. Like, earlier in the season, when Iowa State was on their run, that was the way that they were winning. It was because teams had to sell out to guard Audie, and when they did, everybody outside was knocking their jumpers down. Like, that's the formula for winning basketball. You play from the inside out. Because if you're forcing teams to close out on shooters, that opens up your scoring in the paint, and vice versa. And UCLA might have mastered that, at least with this iteration of the team, because of Lauren Betts and her touch around the basket.
I definitely think that they have. And I feel like, I mean, we kind of talked about this last week when we were talking about her winning both Big Ten Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. But it's like, she is the focal point of the offense. And, well, obviously, she's the focal point of everything that UCLA does. But now she's in a position where everybody else can contribute meaningfully and consistently. And the problem that they had last season was that everybody wasn't contributing meaningfully or consistently. So it's like, once you beat Lauren Betts, you had no other answer. Now it's like Lauren Betts can put up 10-4 in a championship game and you beat the team by 50 anyway. Like, you getting 14 points first from Sienna Betts. You getting basically 20 from Gianna Needkins. Kiki Rice, like, doing a little bit of everything. Like when your team can do that, they can do that because they have a Lauren Betts, but also like they figured out a way to like make everybody else effective. And it's funny that you said like sometimes the games be close and like then it's just like ooh. It felt like that last year when like UConn would play, it was like people would be like, UConn is just so sudden. And that's just how UCLA feels. Like once they feel like they in their groove, which is typically the second quarter, it feels like they start feeling it. You're kind of cooked if you're not in the groove too. like you can't be having no third quarter lull messing with UCLA. And so I feel like a lot of people are trying to do the thing where they're trying to find flaws in UCLA, which like I'm sure there are, but it's just really not too many teams that are going to beat them anyway. Like it's you're going to have to do something significant to actually beat this UCLA team. It's not just going to be like, oh, we're going to just 3 people crash into Lauren Betts. Like, we're not just going to rough her up in the paint because now you got a Sienna Betts who low-key hands are really good. And the Lauren Betts, Sienna Betts connection is actually kind of crazy. You just can't do it anymore. And Gianna Needkins is knocking down shots crazy. So it's like, I don't know. We're going to see with, the streets were saying that if they get some small defensive guards, that it'll make it rough on UCLA. We'll see which teams can do that, which teams have that in this tournament run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh yeah, they just can't be beat, because obviously they can. Any team can be beat, but they've been so impressive this year. And I'm trying to think back to how they lost, but that wasn't even like it. Yeah, no, I mean the game that they lost this year, but even then,
it was. I'm pretty sure it was really close. Like when they played Texas,
yeah, it was.
they couldn't get right in the first half, which like really hurt them. And then they kind of went on a run, but the run kind of happened too late. And Texas was in a survivor bag. And so
Texas outscored them. Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say Texas outscored them 20-10 in the first quarter, and then 25-15 in the second quarter, and then UCLA outscored them 22-17 in the third, and then 18-14 in the fourth.
Yeah, so it's kind of like what we mentioned earlier about South Carolina, which we're gonna have to get to them again. Is Texas punch first, and that initial punch, they maintained it through the first half, and it ended up being too much to overcome. So it does feel like you might just you catch them on the right day, you can beat them. But you got to be on your A game, and they got to start slow. So it is kind of a we'll see type of thing. I don't know if I would feel comfortable picking them to lose against too many teams.
And then you look at this box score too, like when they played Texas, they didn't have Sienna. They played basically at a six woman rotation, which like nowadays they're playing a little bit more. We're getting to 7 now, maybe 8 on a when things get a little rough. But also like Charlize and Kiki and Gabriella Hawkins is taking more shots for sure, and Kiki is being more efficient. And so when you're like lead ball handler essentially is being more efficient, like it puts you in a better spot.
Yeah, I also think Texas does have like some unique defensive personnel that can get them some issues. So like they were able to limit the shot attempts for Lauren Betts. She only took 8 shots in that game. So they were able to keep them from just saying, okay, well, we'll just feed her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you take that away, now you're saying, okay, we're basically daring your shooters to shoot. And Johnny Neepkins hit 3 threes in that game, but that was about it in terms of their scoring from the outside. So yeah, it's gonna have to be a game like that. And every team does not have the defensive personnel that Texas has. And sometimes
most teams do not actually.
And Texas and sometimes Texas offense does not come to play the way that they did in that game. I'll put it that way. Because in that game, Texas shot 40% from 3 and only missed 1 free throw. So
and speaking of Texas,
speaking of a team who didn't want to lose, Texas scared me, girl. Like actually, like let's back up a little bit to the other games in the tournament. Kentucky went on a cute little run. I will give them their credit for that. Which is actually I'm not gonna jump her. Kentucky went on a cute little run until they got to South Carolina. And of course, Kenny got an depressor and was like, three games in 3 days. Like you knew that.
It's just like that is how the conference tournament works. Yes,
that is how it works. You knew that.
That's how it works.
Maybe y'all should have won more games in the latter half of the season.
Yeah.
They did get my my demons, UGA. They did get them out of there. Pretty convincingly. But
they had to convincingly beat somebody. So like if we had to beat Georgia, but it had to be done.
That's fair.
Well, listen, I'll also say, speaking of Kentucky, I know everyone is coached differently, and everyone has different motivations. But telling somebody you're the worst superstar I've ever coached is just not. And then
That's a
telling
level
people
of
that.
it. And do you know, like, do you know that this man said, like, when he explained that to the people on SEC Network, and it's like nobody questioned him, right? The people on the SEC Network, he said, you got like, listen, I didn't say she was the worst player. I said she was the worst superstar. And everybody was like, yeah, and I'm like, bro, what?
It's funny because
I think it's the why are you telling people you said this?
Yes, why did you
because
say
honestly,
that?
because relatively speaking, it's like on the scale of the coach speak things that coaches say to piss players off, that's relatively normal, I suppose. But it's like that's not something you ain't got to be like, yeah, I gotta let everybody know I said this, and I lit a fire under her, and that's what got her going. It's like, I mean, I'm sure that's true, right? But I feel like everybody's not going to be receptive to that. It's like, your players, right? You know your personnel. You know that she's not going to take it away, but you know how people get. Like any response to that you get is the response that you ask for.
Because it's something people very like. Let's say, Lord forbid, she would have had a terrible game. The next game, like that'll be something that people will be like, that's something people gonna be holding against her. I just don't feel like that was necessary at all. Again, everyone has different motivations, like Jay said. As far as coach speak, like when we see these TikToks and people be saying like, this coach said such and such to me, it very bottom here, because coaches will say, people be posting stuff that coaches said to them, and it's like, that coach needs to die. but it's like, why are you telling us you told this girl that? This young lady. Why are you telling us you told this young lady that? I just don't think that was necessary. It's kind of like when it reminded me of like when Shaq be talking shit about the bigs, and then the bigs have a good game, and they'll be like, yeah, I lit a fire on them because I was talking shit. And it's just like, I don't know.
No, it to me, it's like you said that to her, and then like she played what? She put up 24 against South Carolina, fantastic. Y'all lost. She put up 20 and 13 against Arkansas. They stink. She put up 33 and 8 against UGA. Which like UGA was ranked higher than them, but if we're talking purely talent, Kentucky, you were supposed to beat them anyway. Like, you really wasn't even supposed to be down there with them. You should have been ahead of them anyway.
And honestly,
you really should have been with she should have been doing that.
It's funny because the fact that they were down there with them is why. That's probably why Clara Strack didn't get the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, because they were looking and they were saying, we see how good y'all should be relative to the level of talent that y'all have compared to these other teams. And the fact that y'all are down there with them means I cannot give you credit for that.
It's just like, and then you play South Carolina again, and you had 11 and 5 and 62%, but you had 5 turnovers. Like, and you lost. Like, they beat y'all bad. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
South Carolina is a nightmare matchup for most of these teams, but especially a team that they don't have a whole lot of interior presence. Like even Clara Strack, especially in the game against Georgia where she hit every 3. Like, the fact that I feel like playing a team like South Carolina, they can exploit that. They can exploit the fact that whatever your rim pressure threats are, we taking that away. And that's how Kentucky really got in trouble, and that's how they basically stood no chance against them.
Yeah. Other teams who like, I'm actually very proud of Florida. Sorry to your client. your future client, but they beat the hell out of Mississippi State.
This why they future.
And it was actually really fun. Like Liz McGill and Miara O'Neal were very fun to watch. Then they played Oklahoma. Sorry that y'all had to lose, but it was fun the first game. Alabama beating Tennessee, which is like, it was all, to me, that was always going to be a toss up. This what Tennessee had going on. I don't even want to talk about them right now. They got too much negative publicity. I don't want to.
Tennessee is having one of the seasons of all time.
The suspect has a lot going on. We do need to recreate that for them. That's
the Seattle Storm of the SEC.
Yes, they're in fact the Seattle Storm of the SEC right now. So just
shout out Ole Miss.
Shout out Ole Miss, girl. So you know what? No, actually, this is why I can't give up on them. Because you piss me off. They closed the year on a 4-game losing streak. 4 games, guys. 4 games. And that included Texas A&M and Florida. Like, girl, y'all wasn't supposed to lose them. This was supposed to be y'all bounce back, and y'all said, nah, we good. Don't piss me off, actually. And then you come around and you beat Vanderbilt again in convincing manner. Like, not even like a close, like 2-point little cute. No, you was beating the hell out of them so bad that Shay Ralph got herself ejected.
Which Shay Ralph, you are not slick. That getting there, your head cracked and getting ejected stick, it's old.
I'm afraid I enjoyed a bit because
they did need the coach ejection bump. It helped,
and it's funny. And it's funny because I do think they won the fourth quarter. Like
they needed a bump. 30. They did 37-24. They needed the bump.
That means she should have got ejected in the second quarter. She should have committed to the bid early.
The thing is, you gotta. It feel like if you a coach and you getting ejected, the game is already out of reach. It's just like, I just need y'all to know that when we back out here, we need that A game for next time, because this game is already lost. But I need y'all to be locked in the next time we out here together.
You got to get respectable, because y'all didn't look respectable in that first half. I said 6 points in the first quarter. Michaela Blake's had like 1 point, and she was shooting like 1 for 10. I was like, this is the nastiest stat line I've ever seen in my life. Okay. So they did bounce back in that second half. What I will say, it is funny that ESPN did the like 2%, Vanderbilt had a 2% chance of winning the tournament, and they lost immediately after I defended you.
It's crazy because
it must have just been embarrassed Jemay week, because
like we were saying that was going to be like bulletin board material, like the 2% was going to have them motivated, and they came out there and laid down. Like, just Ole Miss was getting everything they wanted.
It was crazy because literally when they came out in the third quarter, they looked like themselves. Like, they really looked like they did not just play that first half, which is like good, because you have to have a short-term memory in basketball. But I'm like, damn, sisters, y'all couldn't give us that. Y'all couldn't give us that 20 minutes ago. At least 10 or 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it a little closer. But Ole Miss kind of needed the win more than y'all, so I do have to thank y'all for what y'all did.
Listen, I don't know how many teams are in this tier, but I feel like Ole Miss is in the tier where they are viable to lose and beat anyone.
Yeah.
They have the capacity of so much, but they also have the capacity of nothing. It's so insane to witness.
And
Like
they just
if
keep doing it. Like it's
if Ole Miss loses in the first round of the tournament, I would be like, that's some Ole Miss shit to do. If Ole Miss gets to the Final Four, I'd be like, damn, that's some Ole Miss shit to do.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is my new conspiracy. It's not even really a conspiracy. This is a fact at this point. They have to be the underdogs. If Ole Miss walk into any situation where they're the team that's supposed to win, it's like in their mind they're like, nah, like you need to count us out. Like that is. You have to count them out. You cannot. No, you can't bet on
So
them.
they can only be demons.
They can literally only be demons, bro.
They're either demons or
Stanford
duds.
2 years ago in the tournament, they was not supposed to beat them. They was not supposed to beat them. Y'all played Vanderbilt twice, and y'all was supposed to beat them neither time. Everybody clocked in to work to win these 2 games, but nobody clocked in to beat fucking Texas A&M. That's what I'm saying. Like the expectations have to be like, I don't know. We gotta walk into it not really knowing what they're gonna do, having no expectations for them. Because if the moment you pick them to win, the moment too many people on their side, then it's like, well, we ain't got it today, and that is insane to me.
Ole Miss shouldn't be allowed to see who they play until the game start. Like, no, turn your phones off, turn your TVs off. We'll see you when that buzzer sounds. You'll see who y'all play.
It's not funny, but it's really crazy. Like how that's really be the case. It's insane.
We got to talk about South Carolina LSU because
it's not funny, bitch. But to lose to a team 19 straight times, it's actually getting out of hand. Actually getting embarrassing. And bro, y'all started the agenda that South Carolina doesn't have the all-time leading record just to get your chain snatched in literally 2 weeks. 2 weeks, guys. Okay, we'll give you a month. We'll give you a month.
It's just
your chain snatched in a month.
I have a hot take. I think next year is the year. I think with Raven gone, LSU gets 1.
No, I can't.
Here's my thing. My thing is, it's just
it can't. Like I know, like I know we haven't had this podcast that long, but I feel like I probably would have said this at like 10, where I'd have been like, this can't keep going on like this. But it can't, right? It just can't.
No,
I just feel Raven played the best game of the year.
Twice.
Twice. She really said, I will be damned if I lose this team. We'll be damned. I just feel like next year it's just gonna happen at least once.
I don't think it's gonna happen before they get to 20. 20, I think we'll have
so boom.
21.
I think they'll get to 20 and then lose 21.
21 is like, okay, girl. All right, now y'all doing too much. But see, this is why I don't believe in LSU. LSU does not have an emotional leader, right? Like South Carolina benefits from the calm, cool collectedness of Raven Johnson. And Raven Johnson obviously has a little bit of that from Dawn. Dawn be tweaking out on the sideline, but she also like knows on the inside that like we good, like we all right. And if Dawn say to Raven, we all right, then Raven's like, we all right. LSU does not have that. Like their only thing is edge. Like they have to like have hate, basically. They gotta have hate in their heart to beat you. But obviously we know that like negative emotions can lead you down a bad path if you don't have them in control. And LSU just never has them in control. It is no reason why LSU should have lost. They really shouldn't have lost the first game. That was insane. Losing on your home floor like that, that's insane. That's insane. But then to do it again in the second matchup where Lay was going off, like y'all weren't even playing bad, but down the stretch you got Michaela. Y'all are fighting on the bench. Like we are seeing y'all crumble in real time. That cannot happen. And nobody on their team has like cool, calm, collected energy. Like I really like Jada Richard, and I do think she will be the key to them moving forward. But even her has a very like get your ass up energy. Like she has that, and that's like you can't be doing that. Like you have to have that, but be able to control it. And I don't know if any of them are gonna be able to control it. Like everybody's a damn hothead. I will say I feel like Zakiya Johnson feels to me a little bit steadying, but the minutes that she gets is very up and down. But everybody else is like some shit not going right. Like now I'm mad and now I can't focus. Like no, you have like basketball is just as much as a mental sport as it is a physical sport. You gotta lock in, twin. You cannot be running up and down, cussing your teammates out, pushing each other around. Like you cannot do that, especially in a game this close, bro.
In the middle of a tournament. Now, if this was like game like 18, it'd be like, all right, maybe this is something we can look past. Y'all gonna hang out for real after this. Like y'all gonna go to whatever. But like, damn, in the SEC tournament against your biggest rival, that always whoop your ass. I don't know, but I do feel like players take on the personality of their coach, and I mean you can just kind of tell that
Kim be on 10.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all that lady be giving up. Kim be giving up before them kids do, and I think they can tell that she is like her heart not in it. She like Kim does not be coaching like she ready for her team to win. I feel like most these last couple of games by the third quarter, when they ain't got no good juice, Kim be like, all right, it's whatever. Like y'all go do what you gonna do. Like, girl, you need to focus. Like you need to focus. And the way she keep using her timeouts, they're not jumping her for that. This lady has used her timeouts in a way in both of these games, like complete malpractice. If Ryan Ruocco has to be like, now why did she do that on the broadcast? We have a problem. We have a real problem. He had to do that like twice. Kim, what are you doing? Lock in.
Sammy says, Jada Richard, there may be a spot on South Carolina for you next year. And
hey,
that's real greedy, but I get it.
Hey, that is greed. Because Jersey Robinson is on the way. And Maddie McDaniel has come a long way, y'all. Like, she has played so good. But Dawn has also shown me that the double PG thing works. Guys, it works. If nobody else can do it effectively and appropriately, Dawn Staley has mastered the double PG lineup because Maddie and Raven, that's some of their best lineups.
It works when you've got guards that have the ability to relocate without the ball. That it provides a level of spacing for your offense that allows you to get you can flow into other actions, you can get things going, and also you don't have to have there's only one person who we trust to make plays and run the offense. So if you got a guard that without the ball is able to come off screens and find themselves in position to receive passes, to make reads, that's the key. And it does seem like the combination of guards that South Carolina has had has allowed them to do that. Sammy said, "Do you guys think?"
Oh,
no, I was going to go ahead. I was going to read that, so go ahead.
Do you guys think Latson is in her head, or is she just not used to the system?
So
funny enough, we texted about this.
Yeah,
when Jemay, you were saying that you feel like she's just in her head, or just overthinking things.
I think she be passing up shots that like I think Dawn would be okay if she took. Like there are times when she's open on the 3-point line, or she's open in the mid range. Like she'll get down and then she'll be like, she'll drive too deep sometimes. But there are definitely times where she even gets the ball like on the. I've seen her get the ball several times at the elbow, and she's open. Like she got space in front of her, and instead of just like taking the short jumper, she started turning around and like start passing the ball out. And it's like, Tanaya, sister, take the shot. Like it like I don't think Dawn is gonna sit you down if you just take some of these shots. Like I know we're trying to look for the best shot, but at the same time, like you need to get going, girl. Like you are a part of the offense. And I feel like she be forgetting that. It seemed like she just be feeling like, oh no, I gotta feed the big, and not like, oh, like I'm a good scorer, so I need to take some good shots. Cause like I feel like she can hit the shot. And she be open too. I think that's the thing that be bothering me, is that she be open and she just be like, ooh, I can't pass it to the post. I'm gonna just throw it back to Raven. It's like, girl, make a play. Let's remember, it's okay.
I think Tanaya is a good study into how hard it is to scale down. Not everyone is adept at being able to just fill in a role, and I think she's done fine so far. Obviously, it may not have worked as well as everyone may have hoped, but I think she's done a fine job otherwise, outside of looking at field goal percentages. But I can imagine it's really hard for 3 years, and I'm sure most of her playing career before collegiately, she was able to take whatever shot she wanted to. And if that shit don't go in, I'm getting that bitch back next time we go back up. Mm-hmm. So it don't even matter. I'm getting every grenade because I'm the best scorer on this team. Like, I got this. And now you're going into a team where I'm having to learn how to scale down because I'm trying to improve my game and be more well-rounded as a player. Because if my goal is to play in a W, only like 1% of the league, like 1 to 2 people per team, get to shoot whatever shot they want to. And more than likely, she's not going to be one of them, which is fine. So I think this is what, just a really big learning curve for her. I think she's also not used to the system, but also I think she is in her head. But I think this is one of those things where even if this may not pay its dividends this year, whether South Carolina loses or not, the South Carolina can win and she may not shoot well for the rest of the tournament or whatever. Her percentages may stay around the same. but I think it will pay dividends for the rest of her career.
So I'm not worried about Tania Latson. Oh, the main thing I think is bothering her is we've seen what a good game from her looks like in this system. The game against Vanderbilt, she was very good. And I think a major issue with her this year has been getting to her shot in the half court. And some of that is because the offense that South Carolina runs is so post-centric. So those driving lanes for Tania are not there. And that becomes a problem when you compound it with the fact that she's not comfortable shooting jumpers off the catch. She never has been. She wasn't really comfortable doing it at Florida State either. But it didn't matter because she wasn't shooting jumpers off the catch at Florida State because she always had the ball. So that's an adjustment that is like that's just something that she's going to need to continue to work on as her game develops, as she gets to the next level and all of that. But also where her strengths are is the strengths really show when South Carolina is able to create havoc on defense, especially when they can get live ball steals, because if Tania is out in transition, she's scoring. Like she just does not miss those opportunities. So this is a growing moment for her, and I do think she's one of those players who, even though she's struggled this season, if you look at her, statistical profile or whatever, I do think she's a player that will just be better in a pro offense versus where South Carolina, they run this offense that's super post-centric, which is fine. And it seems like Tania is trying to work through where she's currently uncomfortable in her game. So I think it'll end up being a positive for her in the long run.
Yeah, I think I'd like to just see her just take more of the mid-range shots, especially since she keeps getting too deep. She's trying to draw fouls when she's in half court, but it's instead of doing it, she get too deep, and so now you crowd it, and it's girl, just stop, stop true dribbles before and just pop the midi. You might as well take it while it's there, especially since at least if Medina gonna go for the O board. So if you do miss, it's probably not gonna be egregious. You know what I mean? It's different when you taking a three and that shit can go really long. But if you shooting a short jumper, you either gonna miss it badly or it's gonna tip off the front of the rim. And you got three teammates that's very likely standing right here. So just take the little short shot. But I don't know. I also will say that I don't feel like when I'm watching her, most of the time, I don't feel like she's playing that bad. I'll look back at the box score and be like, oh, okay, she wasn't super efficient, or ooh, she missed a decent some shots. But it's when I watch her, I don't feel oh, she looked terrible out there. She looked confused. She don't know what she's doing. I don't feel like that about her, so I feel like I can't be too deeply concerned about it. And she's not hunting her offense that much either. So and again, in a space where I feel like she could be doing it a lot more, she's just not. So I don't know.
Okay. We haven't talked about this championship game. So
this ain't Texas. Listen, I just want to say sorry to cut you off, but I know we were talking about teams punching people in the mouth and things of that nature. I feel like Texas is one of the best punch you first teams in the country. If anybody is doing their best to run that shit up on you as soon as that shit start, it's Texas. It's if you beat us, you're gonna have to come back from some crazy shit because I'm trying to whoop your ass now. I'm trying to make you want to quit.
It's so funny to me because all season we have talked about the lows with Texas's offense, and we just did not have that to start this game, like at all. Like they were getting every shot that they wanted, and South Carolina was going through it. Like
so you know Duke like they all the games on ESPN. So you know Duke win the OT. South Carolina didn't quite come on yet. And the thing was like 0-12. And I was like, no way. Like, no way. It's 0-12. Then it went to 0-14. And I'm like, that is correct. Like, are we sure? And I ended up going to the A10 tournament, but the A10 championship. But before I left, the South Carolina game finally cuts on, and South Carolina has like 6 points. It's still like a big deficit, but I'm like, I'm telling my mom and my brother, I'm like, it's cool. Texas will run out of bands. Like, don't worry, guys. Texas will run out of bands. Like, it's gonna happen. This happens all the time. I have never been more embarrassed. I've never been more embarrassed. I caught that game more. I was listening to it while I was driving, and I was like, oh my God, they're really not running out of bands right now. Like, everything was Jordan Lee with the shot, Madison Booker with the shot, Justin Carl's hit for 3. I was like, oh, okay. Period. No, what? No. I was watching that shit on my phone in disgust. I was like, it's no way that Texas is really like every time South Carolina punch back, Texas be like, bitch, I'm gonna eat that. And I got some for you still. I'm like, I have never seen them do this. Like, all year I watched Texas play basketball. I ain't never seen them do this. Actually, I guess they did do this against LSU, that second LSU game. But it's just like, brother, y'all had Brad Cunningham getting 8 for 8. That lady don't even clock in most days. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Texas because they did their thing. They came to play. South Carolina never got to a point in this game where they appeared to be comfortable on offense. And also, Texas offense had it going to the point where South Carolina could not string stops together.
Texas, and this is very much easier said than done, but Texas played the playbook perfectly on how you beat South Carolina. Like, you, not to say they've never lost to anything close, but typically if they play a close game, they pulling that bitch out. But we have talked about this on the pod multiple times. Their offense is not their strong suit by any means. And so if they get down big, it's very hard for them to come back. We see what like, especially in this era of basketball, with how prominent threes are, a lot of times people are coming back from large deficits because they're hitting threes.
Yeah.
And South Carolina just does not shoot threes very well. So it's like, I'm down by 20. I hit 2 straight 2s, and then Texas hits a 3, and I'm right back down 19. And it's like, okay, well, I just hit another 2. I'm down 17. Texas hit another 2. I'm down 3. I'm down 20 again. It's like, damn.
That's literally how I felt too.
I can't withdraw enough bets out of the ATM. I can't pull my shit out on the table before you put something else down.
I think the crazier part too was that like as I was watching it, I don't even feel like I don't even obviously I did not watch like the first quarter. But like when I watched quarters 2 through well, really this just the second half, I was like, I don't feel like South Carolina is playing bad basketball. Like this is fine. Like this is okay as like putting shots up. Like they could be defending better, but like for the most part, like it's fine. And then I look at the box score and I was like, the possession battle, guys?
Yeah.
49 to 63? You never stood a chance. Like, oh, you never stood a chance. You literally never stood a chance. I was looking like I didn't think they had that many more rebounds, but they
they
did.
rebounded them by what, 11?
11.
Yeah.
South
Carolina had three. South Carolina had 3 O boards.
Like, oh my god! I was so like,
yeah,
I was
Texas. It's interesting because Texas didn't have to. They didn't lean on the threes. They didn't have to. It was like they kind of were like, we just gonna get to our spots and we're gonna get our shots up. They took 56 shots inside the arc. I think they took more shots inside the arc than South Carolina took as a whole.
Literally. South Carolina took 49 shots, bro. And you know it was a bad South Carolina day when they shot 12 for 23 from the free throw line. Like South Carolina is not, I would not call them a bad free throw shooting team. 11 free throws, guys? Oh, y'all are just like, y'all are not in it. Y'all are not here with us. Y'all are not in the room with us.
Yeah, they just didn't have it. Texas had it. They had it all. They didn't. Let's see. Madison Booker shot 8 for 15.
Is her best game against South Carolina?
It could be. I like the fact that she wasn't forcing anything. Like she wasn't really like, okay, I have to take over now. She kind of just, which they all did, and it seemed like they did because South Carolina couldn't get no stops. But it was to the point where we can just play our game within the flow of our offense because we've made enough shots now to where they are scrambling on the other end. And now they're scrambling over here too.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy said South Carolina used up all their energy to beat LSU.
You know what? They likely did. Like the emotional, the emotional toll it had to take. And two, like again, like getting punched first that quickly is just like, girl, how do we come back from this? Like I don't even know what you do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, let's get into the paint and they got into the paint and like let's draw fouls, and then you missing the free throws. Look, I think that this of the 3 games this year, this is the first time Madison Booker shot over 50%. But she did have 24 points in the last matchup.
Yeah, it's interesting because I do feel like this game was better, just because I feel like part of it being she didn't have to force anything, and she was just comfortably getting to her spots and getting her shots up.
Outside of the first quarter, South Carolina only got outscored by 2.
And see,
that's what I'm saying. Like they look fine, but
when you punch first, that can make or break the game.
Coming back from large deficits takes a lot. It's more common now, but that still takes a lot.
And I do feel like, I will say, I do feel like it's harder in women's basketball. I feel like you don't really see, like, the last time I think of a team coming back from deficit, they didn't even win the game though, so they didn't even come back. But like Dallas, I'm thinking about Dallas, New York last year, where Dallas had won and they had only scored like 7 points in the final quarter or something like that. New York came back, but it's just like they still lost. But yeah, I agree. Don shouldn't have let them. I feel like for me, and I don't know why coaches keep doing this, because Kara Lawson also did this. They just be letting their teams like figure it out. And I see it makes me why I'm not a coach. Because at the 6 point mark or 8 point mark, really, we're calling a timeout. We're regrouping. Because now my blood pressure up. My blood pressure up. I'm confused. We need to all get together and discuss.
It's funny because when the coaches do that and they don't use the timeouts, and then the team like gains composure and they win, the talk is gonna be, oh, look at the coach, look at how much she trusts her players, look at how, like, is it most coaches would have called a timeout right there, but she understands, she knows her personnel, and the fact that they didn't do it, and I was like, why didn't you do it?
Right, because you gonna stop this. But Kara did the same thing. Like that first quarter, I think it was the first quarter. It was the first or second quarter. Louisville was going on a run, and she just letting them have it. I'm like, Kara, sister, you know you don't have no quick offense. Like, why? You don't have no quick offense, and Toby not cooking right now. What are you doing? And then suddenly, they went on a run. So I was like, oh, okay, never mind. But 14 is too far. This too far. Eight, you gotta at least 10. Stop the bleeding at 10. Because at 10, you can kind of be like, there's breathing room. You know what I'm saying? 10 close to 8. And then when you get within 8, it's like this easy money. I don't know.
If this is a regular season game, I could definitely understand them being like, all right, well, I'm gonna just let you rock, whether win or lose. But like, damn, in the SEC Tournament Championship, I gotta call this. I gotta call this timeout. I'm sorry. Even if I do trust y'all, like now y'all making me look crazy.
Fun tournaments anyway. I will say the only other thing tournament related is now they're talking about South Carolina is going to be the 4th 1 seed instead of the 3rd. And I'm not saying I disagree solely because I bought tickets to watch them bitches. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I do think it's kind of crazy that this is the result.
Yeah, it's kind of it's very
or
much
a potential result. We don't know.
It's very much a what have you done for me lately, and it's just that's unfortunately the last game that you play is going to leave a lasting impression. And yeah, I will say, and I'm not saying that it guarantees that they'll be the 4th 1 seed, but the fact that they lost like that, it leaves the door open for that in a way that it should not have been.
Yeah. But it's just like, to me, it's like, I don't know. That's why I feel like we, like, some of the, like, regular season stuff, like I feel like it has to matter it has to matter. And I feel like sometimes people are like, because it's a what have you done for me lately, it feels like, oh, like, well, you lost now. But it's like, the 2 other times that they played them were very close. Like, this is the first time that it was out of hand.
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you put that much, like, stock into it? And given the people that they had to go through, like, Texas play Ole Miss, and, like, low-key Ole Miss just kind of was like, we did our big one. We don't actually have to prove anything else to y'all. We did what we came to do. So whatever. But I don't know. It's fine either way. Like I don't think it's gonna make too big of a difference between them two, but in terms of like their overall seeding, because both of them still feel like the Final Four teams.
Yeah, it does.
But Sacramento. But you know, I'm only gonna say this because Dawn Staley said this. She said the last time they had to play a regional in California, they won a national championship. So I'm gonna be delusional too.
Shout out to Coach Beat. See, that's when Coach Beat can be on your side because coaches don't forget nothing. And it's like there's always a way for them to be like, this is actually a good thing if this is what ends up happening. So
my only tournament thought, or my last tournament thought, was that the Big 12 does not need to play on that court ever again.
You didn't like the glass floor?
It's awful. I hate it.
No.
Like,
and the players said that shit on top of everything. Even if I love that shit, the players said that shit ass.
Like it's
That's so funny.
If the people that's playing on it is like, this shit is slippery and it's not good. You need to put this up.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna hurt somebody.
They got their high hopes for that. They got their high hopes for that floor. They're talking about how they anyway.
The only cool thing is like the light up 3, but you could just do that on the broadcast. Like I don't need it. I don't need that.
But it's supposed to be an interactive experience for the fans in the building. But anyway,
make the tickets cheaper. How about that?
See, now we here.
Now we're talking. What else we gotta talk about? Honestly, I don't want to talk about Unrivaled because I'm still mad as hell. I have never Stewie is never beating the fucking I need the refs to win me a championship allegations. You just got on my hater list even more. Yeah.
Okay, so I have to go back and find the episode. I picked the Miz to win the championship like a month or so ago. So I am proud of me for that. And also I am proud of Alicia Gray because I needed something. So I will leave with that. Shout out to Leash for winning the championship. I know that she didn't have like the greatest postseason performance, but the only thing that I will say that is a negative is I hate when the Unrivaled games end on free throws. Like I just can't stand that. Like we have to implement some sort of rule where the game can't end on a free throw. Give me a side out of bounds. Give me something. Like I need a game winner that's actually a game winner. Like we are already playing 3-on-3 basketball. Like let's like do something for me. I can't live with a game winner free throw in a 3-on-3 game. I just can't.
A bullshit free throw at that. Like I have never seen, like I'm not gonna rework myself up. I'm not gonna do it. But I am happy for Enrique. My sister got her a championship. Well, you know, a professional one. So we about to do the all 3 levels thing that y'all be doing. Get my sister on the Olympic team and we can wrap this up. Mm-hmm.
What else? What else did I want to say about that? Sammy said, especially if one free throw counts as 2. Yes, exactly. Exactly that. It's just like the Phantom Vinyl playoff game that probably should have ended off a free throw. It didn't end off a free throw, and look at that.
On purpose. Y'all did that shit on purpose. Like, you should have got a take foul.
And honestly, the game was better because of it. And that's all I'm saying. Like the KP game winner, it would have sucked the air out of the Barclays Center if that was a free throw. It's just, okay, good win. But the jumper, This is what we're here for.
Step
Sammy?
back 3 with that lady and her in her face. Like, please.
Sammy, no.
Are we trying to New York? Hey, listen. Hold on.
Sammy,
Hold on.
no.
Before we say no,
I don't know if there's really anything
I
to say.
feel like Enrique and Stewie got good synergy. We need to look into that.
Then let's go. Let's Stewie can go to Dallas. How about that?
Well, no. How about
Paige, Stewie, and Enrique can form a new big three. How about that?
How about Stewie and Enrique go back to Seattle? Yeah. And they can send Ezzy McGore to me. And yeah. And while we moving people, Rikia can go to Dallas. The Paige Rikia, I don't know if they got like a little ship name or whatever, but I'm on that. I am rooting for that actually.
We can't talk about it too much because then people gonna be saying they be kissing.
Well, I'm not saying that. I just think they're fun to watch playing basketball together. That's all I'm getting at. No, literally though, watching Paige play with the Breeze, like I really be thinking about the Sparks. I'm like, I know they sick. Like I know they're sick as a dog every time they see the three of them play.
The Sparks was so sick that when they didn't get the number 1 pick, I knew they were like, all right, who on it? They was like, it was really this or nothing. So
whatever.
Yeah, it's like, all right, y'all come get it.
Sammy said Kia to Seattle too. Kia Nurse. I'll take Kia Nurse in Seattle. Look, Kia Nurse.
I feel like he's talking about Rikia. And
I thought I was also.
That's how you spell that lady.
I was also thinking Kia Nurse.
See, yeah. I just feel like he spelled her name wrong, but we weren't talking about Kia Nurse, so that's why I feel like he was talking about Kia Jackson.
That's fair. That's fair. Because I see Rikia and Stewie don't go together in my mind. We
see. I need Rikia to be able to get hers, and it's like I don't know if that's. I will say
Stewie seemed like the type of nigga to let you get yours.
She is. That's why she need to be next to Enrique.
Yeah,
like that's why I say too many getting yours on like.
I can see that because Stewie would definitely be like, all right, y'all niggas tripping. Give me that. I'll handle this. So and the days where Enrique doing some bullshit or shooting some bullshit and it's not falling, Stewie be like, all right, brother, I got you. Don't even worry about it. Big sis, I got you.
Literally. That's that's what she need. Yeah. Stewie was the vet Enrique needed.
Stewie's gonna be like what Tina Charles was.
Yeah. So let's do that in Seattle. Yeah, send me Ezzy. Y'all can also send I'll be gracious. I was gonna say send me Jordan Horston too, but I won't be greedy. Y'all can send her to. Y'all low-key can send her to Washington.
I don't hate that. I wonder what speaking of if they're going to have a season, apparently there's another marathon CBA meeting going on today that has been going on since 2 p.m. Eastern, and it is currently 10:30. So
Shout out to the journalists. I do be jumping y'all because y'all do be saying crazy stuff sometimes. But shout out to y'all being boots on the ground and sitting out there while they do this.
In them
I'm glad the
lawn
weather's
chairs,
nice.
and lawn chairs are not comfortable.
Yeah, shout out to them for being there and getting us information as it becomes available. Um, this CBA negotiation, girl, I'm over it. I'm ready to wrap this up. I don't actually want to don't tell me. I really don't want to know any more information until everybody ready to sign on a dotted line because the back and forth is I'm over it. But hopefully it work out for everybody involved. Whatever. Hopefully it works out. Selection Sunday. Oh, do you guys have an opinion about whether UCLA should be the number 1 overall seed?
So I've actually thought about this, and I don't think it matters. I think
that's not the answer. That's not the answer to the
but,
question, though.
But if it was up to me, I would have UCLA as my number 1 seed.
Okay, Don, what about you?
If it was up to me, I would be putting UConn there.
Okay. Ooh, split group. Interesting.
Yeah. I think it's just the amount of quad 1 and quad 2 games for UCLA and the fact that they've only lost 1 game and it was to Texas. I understand UConn being undefeated. I understand that they play in the Big East. I know that they can't help that. I do think head to head, it can go either way. So I understand the people saying UConn didn't lose a game. They won the title last year. How can you take the number 1 overall seed from them? To me, I don't think last year should be factored in. But I understand the thought process for the people that do. I just think this season, I think UCLA has had more impressive wins based on who their opponent was.
And I feel like I would give UCLA the number 1 overall too, especially since they played the same teams and UCLA also beat them. You know what I mean? It'd be different if they both played Ohio State and UCLA lost to Ohio State. Then it'd be like, okay, we shouldn't do transitive property thing, but also they clearly, have a more impressive overall resume. Because I feel like they need to give it to UCLA just to say running through the Big Ten is not an easy feat. I do feel like they need to be credited for that. I don't think it makes that much of a difference overall because regardless, UCLA is going to go to Sacramento and UConn is going to go to Fort Worth. So I don't think it really matters, but I feel like they should honor them with that. But I also don't think at this point that they're going to do it simply because all of the other reveals have been UConn on top, and UCLA's resume has technically been better for at least since the most recent reveal. So I don't think it's going to happen, but I do think it's something they should be considering.
Yeah.
If they gave UCLA the top seed, I would not be mad at all. I just feel like historically, with the championships team last year having the number 1 seed until they lose, and then UConn just not losing, it's it's just damn. It shouldn't be factored in, but also this done been factored in for so long. But I just feel like this is
last year UConn was ass. They weren't ass, obviously, but they were mediocre up until they lost to Tennessee, and then suddenly they were really good at basketball. But you could not honor them because they only played Big East teams. So to me, it's like if you're gonna say the Big East teams are not enough to propel them when we can see eye tests that they've been better, like why should that be enough for you to be like, okay, we're gonna keep you in this spot? Like that don't I feel like that's contradicting logic a little bit. If you're saying eye test means that much, I do think that UConn could have been a 1 seed last year. They were playing much better than a lot of people, but also they didn't because they had a few losses. They were like, "Girl, please stand up." But
yeah, I think it should go to UCLA. For the record, I don't think it will. I think UConn is going to be the number 1 seed, but I would pick UCLA if it was up to me.
Excuse me. Other topics. I do think Rhode Island has won the A10 tournament. So they're definitely going to the tournament. But I do think George Mason and or Richmond should also get bids. And I also think that Quinnipiac should get a bid from the MAC. They've played really well, and Fairfield is going to make the tournament because they won the conference. Shout out to them for being back-to-back champs, by the way. So I think that would be cool for them to get honored as well, because like I feel like they've all played pretty well, and they kind of ran through their conferences too. The A10 tournament was super fun. So I don't know. I do think they should be kind of given a nod. And also South Dakota State and North Dakota State. Like South Dakota State ended up winning. Shout out to Jackrabbits. But North Dakota State played they had a great season. They won the regular season. I don't know what their resume says, but like being that competitive in your own conference, I think has to mean something. I think it has to mean something. And if that means that, let's see who on the bottom of this list. If that means that Clemson or Colorado, or actually not them, UVA or Arizona State or Nebraska, they don't get in because you want to honor the other three, I am perfectly okay with that because y'all should have played better. Like, sorry guys, y'all should have did better in y'all conference. I fear.
Because I had so much to say last week, I do have to eulogize my alma mater because Georgia Southern they did win the Sun Belt regular season championship. They were the number 1 seed in the Sun Belt tournament, and they lost in their first game on Sunday to James Madison, who went on to win the tournament. So congratulations to James Madison. They earned it. They beat Georgia Southern and Troy, who were both of the top 2 seeds. So they earned that bid. Good for them. And I said our first game is Sunday. We'll see what we look like. I hope I don't jinx them. And that's exactly what I did. So shout out to me.
Rip to Georgia Southern. You guys had a good run.
There's always next year.
There's always next year.
Honestly, I'm already proud of them, so we good.
Shout out to Samford for winning their conference. They were like the 6th seed as well, so they kind of went on their own little Cinderella run. That was cute. High Point back-to-back champs. Who else? Murray State. Are they back-to-back? They won the regular season and their conference.
Yeah.
Alabama A&M hasn't happened yet, but I would really love to see them win their conference to make the tournament. Who else on here? Idaho has officially won their conference. Western Illinois won their conference. Shout out to Mia Castro, who was like top 5 in scoring all year.
I believe
So
she
that'll
finished.
be fun.
I believe did she finish at 4? She might have. I think she did.
Yeah. So that will be fun. Who else needs a shout out here? Baylor, you do need to sound it out. Like, what the hell you got going on? I don't know. California Baptist, I'm pretty sure, won their tournament. So congratulations to them. FDU went undefeated in their conference. The MEAX tournament is this weekend. Howard has a very good chance of winning it all. They kind of ran through their conference and they were regular season champs. So that should be fun. Yeah, those are all the people I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think. Let me see. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think so. Are all hearts and minds clear?
I think I'm clear.
I think so. Well, this has been another episode of Pull Up 3. I am Paragon Don.
I'm Jemay.
And I'm J Trent.